Hi everybody, welcome back to Fast Coasters, episode 3 of Pachuca Park. And as you can see, today we are building a B&M Inverted coaster. I haven't built one of these since Planet Coaster 1. I haven't built one in this game yet, like actually, seriously. So we will see how this goes. It should be the same thing as Planet, the original. Most of the coaster building is the same. I think that the trains look a little bit better in this one. But yeah, we're going to be building this invert coaster. It's not going to be humongous. As you can see, it's going to be about 120 feet. Kind of like a medium-sized invert, nothing major. This probably would have been built in maybe like 2003 if this was a real park. So wouldn't probably get the biggest line in the park, but it would be a fun ride. It's going to have the generic inverted elements, like the loop. It's going to have the I think I put an Immelman on it, not a dive loop, an Immelman. So it goes through a loop here, and then after this, it's going to go through a more interesting element that I don't think is ever on a B&M invert. I wanted to do something new for this one. So I was originally going to do a 0G roll, but that's so generic, they all do that. So I wanted to do a giant cutback, which I don't think any invert does a cutback unless it's like the new Gen Vacomas. But yeah, I did this cutback. I think it ended up really being really nice. It's like the defining feature of the coaster. So yeah, we go into the Immelman here. I think shaping of Immelmans and dive loops are a lot easier in this game than it was in the last game. I think I'm adding a mid-course brake run here, just for capacity reasons. Then it's gonna go into the corkscrews, and then that'll be the general layout of this ride. But yeah, I wanted to talk about what happened in the industry yesterday. Six Flags made a humongous announcement regarding most of their parks and the new additions for 2026. So I wanted to actually go through a few of them. So on the Carowinds is getting a record-breaking water ride. Canada's Wonderland is getting a record-breaking water attraction. So they could be the same thing, they could be different. The wording makes me think they're different, but we will see. They're not my local parks, but hopefully the record-breaking water ride is something big in the River Rapids plot at Carowinds, and Canada's Wonderland. It might be a water slide, could be for their water park. So we will see how that goes. Kings Island's getting a family thrill attraction. That's great. Not too much to say about that. Just resizing this Immelman here because it's a little too big for the coaster. Coaster announcements. I want to talk about the one that's kind of flying under the radar. Six Flags Over Texas is getting a record-breaking dive coaster. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be the Giga Dive coaster that they had in those surveys for the Cedar Fair parks, and I think that would be one of the main attractions for Over Texas. They really need it. Their last standout attraction that they got was New Texas Giant, and that was 2011. That was, how many years ago was that? I think it was 13 years ago. Oh my god, 13 years ago since the New Texas Giant opened and RMC got their start. But obviously, I am going to talk about the local one, the big one, Six Flags Great Adventure. It has been announced that Kingda Ka, Green Lantern, Twister, and the Skyway are all closing down. As I said, everybody said I was gullible, it was BS, but clearly I was right. Kingda Ka's closure is really sad, but I am glad that they do have a replacement ready to go. I do think it's going to be that 400-foot Mach Extreme Spinner tower coaster. I really do think. When I first saw it, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. But if you make that 400 feet and you add some of the elements that the Mach can do, it could really be an insane roller coaster that's never been seen before, like Kingda Ka was. Green Lantern's removal, the last ride I got on it was good. I will say the last ride I got on it was good. But I know that I'm hoping they put another coaster there instead of just one giant coaster. But just as long as they leave a little bit of room for maybe a tilt coaster. But from how it sounds and what they had to remove, it sounds like the station might be where the not where Kingda Ka is. It might, unless it's a full circuit. If it's a full circuit, the station will probably go where Kingda Ka is. But if it's not a full circuit, then I'm thinking the station will probably go where the Scream Machine used to drop, so like right around where Twister is. And I'm thinking maybe they'll use the entrance from that way. I'm not sure what they could do with the Golden Kingdom if they do that. I'm not sure what they really could add there because the only things were, oh yeah, and Zumanjaro is also closing, obviously, if Kingda Ka is closing. Zumanjaro is also done as well, which is a shame, Though I got one ride on Zumanjaro, and the main thing I remember is as soon as you started to get forced, it hit the brakes. So really, as a drop tower, wasn't that great, but it was just the novelty of it and the view you get from the top of the tower. But yeah, I think that this big coaster, I think it's going to be one of those tower coasters, this Mac Extreme Spinner Tower Coaster. I think if it is a full circuit, it's going to be the 300 to 400 feet. I think we're looking at a giant coaster coming to this spot, which is what will fit Kingda Ka. But like I said, if the station is around where Scream Machine was, I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the Golden Kingdom. Probably maybe some flat rides over time, but I'm really not sure what's gonna go there. But yeah, I think that's basically it for all the new coasters. Oh, Magic Mountain is getting a first of its kind coaster for North America. I'm putting my bets on the Axis coaster. I thought they were going to get an Intamin family launch, but clearly that's not the case if it's the first of its kind from North America. People are saying Tilt Coaster, but obviously that's not true because you have Circuit Breaker and Siren's Curse opening, so those are the real first of its kind for North America. So I'm thinking it is the Axis Coaster. I'm thinking they bought it before the merger happened because the teasers were up earlier this year, but clearly with the merger going down, they did have to delay that edition. So I do think it's an Axis coaster because I can't see Six Flags taking a chance on a new Six Flags taking a chance on an Axis coaster, but old Six Flags, I could totally see them doing that. But yeah, other than that, I think Great America's getting some 50th editions, which is good. That's going to be an off year for them because they're getting Wrath of Rakshasa this year. So understandable that they're going to have a bit of a down year in 2026, but that's natural. Great Adventure, though, I think the 2025 season is going to be pretty rough for them. Yes, we have Flash opening, but with Kingda Ka gone, and mostly Kingda Ka, but Green Lantern as well, it's going to take a lot of capacity from the park. So I think a lot more other coasters' lines will be longer. Like I think El Toro will get a bigger line, Nitro, Jersey Devil. But yeah, it doesn't help that their new coaster has terrible capacity. It has one train, and they just took away 2 coasters. So we'll see. Twister's removal, nobody ever went on that. I hardly saw a line for it. I did it the last day, the day before it closed, and it was fun. I know Topspin's gonna run better though, so it's not really a great comparison. The parachute tower, I haven't even mentioned the parachute tower because we've all known that it's gone, and I'm glad they're taking it down because if a ride's not gonna operate, you need to take it down. It shouldn't be just standing there. Because guests who don't know will think that's an open attraction and they'll get excited to ride it, and then they won't be able to ride it. So yeah, I think Great Adventure, I think 2025 is going to be rough, but I think 2026, I think they're going to start to rebound. I think new Six Flags is going to invest a lot into Great Adventure. That's one of their top earners in the whole chain. I think that'll be their main park. Maybe Dorney will get, I think, some little stuff. I don't know about big investments because I'm going to be honest, Iron Menace was a failure financially. I mean, yes, it didn't really bring in too many crowds, like the crowds they were expecting. But I mean, it's a fun ride, but I mean, I think it was the wrong coaster for them. I think they should have got possibly like a wing coaster or a mock launch coaster. I think that would have been a better fit, more unique from, the stuff at Great Adventure. Great Adventure more specifically, Hershey Park as well, but Great Adventure's really the main competitor, was the main competitor to Dorney until the merge happened. Anyway, back to our invert. As you see the station, I did a nice wooded, like a lodge station almost. I wanted to have a wilderness theme. This one is going to be called Rage. I already picked the name for this one. And I think it's a nice name. I really like these custom letters in this game. I really, really do like them. Before you had to use TMTK, and then that would drag down the graphics, but no more of that. We have custom lettering now, so you could all make really good custom signs. And yeah, this invert, I think, when I started it, I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but I think as it went along, I think I really started to like it, especially with all the scenery coming in. There's not going to be any flat rides in this area. In the next episode, we're not going to build it yet, but you will see the start of the tilt coaster. I just put like the drop in place just so I know where it's going to go. When you're at the entrance to the park, you're going to stare right at the tilt coaster tilting. But the next episode, I'm going to make a B&M hyper coaster, and I think I'm going to give it a mythology theme. I'm going to make a little I don't know if I don't think it's gonna be huge, but I'm gonna make a smaller mythology area. Just probably fit some other rides in there, maybe other coasters, but we'll see how that progresses. But I'm gonna make a mythology hyper coaster. It's gonna be probably not right next to these. It's probably gonna be off to the back in the right somewhere. But yeah, that's basically how this park's going. The queue line, I had some trouble with the queue line, as you can see here. That would have cut their heads off, so obviously got to reposition that. And yeah, this invert came out really nice. Now onto the water park. Now we're gonna do some water park stuff here. So I wanted to do a couple slides, not major slides yet, but there's gonna be a couple of as you'll see first, we're gonna do a smaller mat racer. It's very easy to do a mat racer, as you could see. You don't make it too tall, and you don't have to directly copy the slide, because you could just blueprint it and then just add that on, as you'll see here. It's a lot easier, and you'll have the top accuracy, so it doesn't. They both match. I think I put three of them, so the three will match up. This water park is called Wet and Wild, and I made it as you can see, with the Wet and Wild. You might see it on the entrance in the back, the blue and the red, off the Wet and Wild franchise. I don't even think they're around anymore. There might be like one or two parks, but I know the Vegas and Orlando ones closed a while ago. But it's gonna live on here. It's gonna be called Wet and Wild Pachuca, obviously. And I just noticed, I think maybe that path cut the lazy river in half, but I'll have to go back and take a look at that in the next episode. But other than that, no, it didn't. It's all good. Anyway, I put one slide in the back. Oh no, it did. It did cut it in half. I'll have to fix that. That slide in the background, it's by Frontier. I just put it in as a quick little thing. Really, the physics on that slide are horrible. It would break your back on that one. So as you saw, I put the blueprint. I blueprinted that slide and I just copied it over. So for future mat racers, I might use that, or I might go with more creative layouts. As you can see here, we're going to do some inner tube flumes. These will be kind of like the smaller editions. You know how Great Wolf Lodge, they have, a pad, and they have a bunch of smaller ones. They're not too extreme, but they do their job. They turn around a little bit and then they drop. So that's basically what we did here. Now, a big problem I was having was getting them to line up with the ground perfectly, because they would either be right above or right below, as you could see. So it took me a little while to troubleshoot that, but we were good. But then I had to do it 2 other times. The last time I did it good, but the second time I was having pretty much a lot of issues with it. So I didn't blueprint it, obviously, because these are all usually custom. They're usually different from each other. So that's what I did here. Just change the colors around a little bit. This one has the colors of our invert, and then the other one is going to have colors of that floorless coaster we put in, which I haven't decided on the name yet. I'll decide on the name soon. So as you can see, they really don't do much. It's really just a helix for the 3 of them. They're just going to have one helix, and then they're going to drop. This one has 2 helixes, but the other ones are basically a figure of 8. So they do the figure 8, and then they drop. I thought that'd be a nice little slide pad, and when I add the scenery in, it actually looks nice. I'm gonna have to work on it more, but with scenery, I think it looks really nice. So as you can see here, I'm having a lot of problems getting this to line up with the ground perfectly, which, it's a bit of a pain, but I'm having that problem with some of the queue lines as well, having them line up with the ground. You'll see with the path, I'll have that problem again. But this one's gonna have the colors of our floorless roller coaster, and these slides don't have names. I'll probably name them later, but I haven't thought of any names. It's going to do the figure 8. I like how it goes over the path. It's kind of realistic, because sometimes slides go over the path like that. But yeah, other than the Six Flags announcement, there really hasn't been too much theme park news. But yeah, the Kingda Ka closure, I'm glad it's finally done. And also, I like to clarify, the Six Flags has said it's not going to be like a reimagining, like a Top Thrill 2 situation. They are taking the entire thing down, including Zubanjaro, so the whole tower is going to come down. I imagine Green Lantern's already coming down as we speak. I'm interested to see how they deconstruct that, because if they are taking it apart piece by piece, it's going to another park. But Kingda Ka is going to get ripped apart. But we will see. I hope Green Lantern does get relocated somewhere else. I think it could offer a lot to a park as a stand-up or a floorless, but probably a floorless, because it's pretty old. Green Lantern, it's from 1997, so we will see how that progresses. But yeah, that's basically it for our slides. Then I'm going to add some of the pathing, which, it's a little finicky, but I'm pretty much used to it at this point. Just some little adjustments for Frontier, and it'll work great. But yeah, looking forward to that December update. I don't believe there's anything else really going on. The next vlog will be out next week. It's gonna be a Christmas candy lane vlog from Hershey Park, so I thought I'd cover that. Probably it's definitely gonna be the last Hershey Park vlog of the year. Six Flags, you might get a Holiday in the Park vlog, but I will let it go. Here you go. Enjoy your ride on Rage.